Welcome to our weekly Forex forecast, and this is for trading for the week of April 8th to the 12th, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So we'll go to our Forex Factory calendar. And in terms of the news that's coming up, so on Monday here, not a ton of not a ton of important data. There is the German trade balance number, which will be important. Now, consumer confidence numbers for Japanese yen, this is not red, but it does have an impact, especially right now because everybody is concerned about the economy. So this number will have an impact on the yen crosses. So just keep that in mind. Looks like my platform just connected there. Perfect. All right. So on Tuesday here, again, not a ton of data here. We do have one of the FOMC members speaking. Sometimes that can have an impact on the market, especially when there's no other news coming out. Now, we do need to keep in mind that Brexit news here, any comments in regards to Brexit will continue to impact our trades. So do keep an eye on your news feed to see what's coming up in regards to Brexit. So last week, the Parliament voted on not going through a no-deal Brexit. So they have to reach a deal. But pay attention to that because EU had requested, or EU had said that they need to come up with some sort of an agreement by April 12th to put forward to EU. So this week here, sorry, excuse me, looks like my platform there. So just keep that in mind. It will be important. On Wednesday here, this will be an important day for Euro. But before that, we do have GDP numbers here for British pound, as well as manufacturing production numbers. The data for pound here will be important because we have seen some data has been a positive here, and there was pressure on Bank of England. So if the numbers continue to come out positive, that will be good for British pound. And then big thing here is the out, they were very dovish, and as a result of that, we had seen the euro drop. So if they continue on, if they keep the same sort of commentary, then it will be negative. Sorry, my apologies. Let me just have a quick look here to see what's going on. Looks like there's a problem connecting. Okay, it looks like it's connected. Okay, let me get through this quickly so we don't get interrupted here again. ECB here will be important. So if they're not as dovish, that could be good for euro. But if they continue on with like more dovishness, that will be negative for euro. So just keep that in mind. The CPI numbers here, very, very important for the US. Last week, I had mentioned that if we continue to see negative numbers for US, then we'll see a negative impact on the US dollar. We saw that the numbers have been coming out negative for the US. So now if the inflation numbers continue to come out negative, that will not be good here. So just keep that in mind. FOMC again on Wednesday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, expect volatility here. Sorry, on Wednesday, both expect volatility here because of ECB as well as the FOMC. Both of them are coming out. FOMC this is not the big meeting, it's just the meeting minutes. Again, it will have an impact on the US dollar. OPEC meetings here, this will impact oil. So keep an eye on Canadian dollar and any comments that come out of the OPEC meetings. So anytime if they talk about opening up production, increasing production, that will be negative for the oil. But if they say that we are going to continue on with the production cuts, President Trump has been asking OPEC to open up the production here, increase the production. But if they don't do that, if they continue along the same vein saying that we are going to going to maintain here, then that would be positive for oil, positive for Canadian dollar, and negative for dollar CAD here. PPI numbers will be important for the US dollar. And then we have a bunch of FOMC members speaking. And when we have so many FOMC members speaking, usually their comments do impact the market. So keep an eye on that. And then on Friday, not as bad. We just have consumer sentiment numbers. So it's just the middle of the week where we have Wednesday and Thursday, where we have the important data, especially on Wednesday, where we have both ECB as well as FOMC that we'll need to be aware of. So let's go on to our charts here. Looks like my, okay, so start off with our euro dollar. Sorry, it looks like I'm having problems today with the platform. I think they were doing some work on the platform on the weekend. Okay, I'll try to get through this quickly. This one, we are right into our support. Last week, we had talked about the support level here. So price dropped, but now we have an indecision candle. We are right into support. So this is an important place for euro here, because as we can see, price has not really been at this level, or they have 2017, so almost 2 years ago here. So from here, we could see price, from here, we could see price go back up because we are into that bottom of this support level here. And this is an important support resistance level. So I would keep an eye on it. If price cannot break below 1180, 1.1180, chances are very high that it's going to go back up. Now, let's say the ECB comes out negative, or Fed is not as bad. In that case, price could break through here, and then I would be looking for 1.1020 as the first level. But for now, my base case scenario is that this is an important support resistance level and price could go back up. So just keep that in mind, and we could see price go back into the middle of this range here, because price has been stuck here for the last several weeks, so it could go back in. So for now, this is looking neutral, but if it breaks the support, then we have, sorry, let me see what I can do here. This is a way to disconnect. Okay, not working. Let's do something else. Let's go to Trading View. Let's see if we can go to Trading View. We'll take it from there and get rid of our, I'm just gonna close this down because this is very annoying. All right, Trading View. Okay, so we had a look at euro dollar. Let's go to pound US dollar here. And we may not be able to do a full-fledged one here, but let's see. Okay, so for pound dollar here, pound has been very volatile, so I expect the volatility to continue on this week here as well. And in terms of our moves here, pound has really moved in both directions. So this one here as well, we saw a drop and then price pushed back up. So this is our support level here. So in this case, our bias is to the downside. And we just have to keep in view this level here. So it has traded in a bit of a range here. And so this is the top of the range, and now we are almost into the bottom of the range. Price is bearish right now. So I would look for price to drop here. And first target here is our this level here, 1.2950-ish level. Now, this is a very important support resistance level. As we can see, prices reacted here. It reacted here as well on the way down. So looking for price to drop, but if it does not go through 1.2960, it could go back into this range. For the last several weeks here, price has been in this range. It went up, came down, and just been choppy back and forth. So if it does not break below 1.2960, again, I would look for this one to go back up as well, back into the range. Now, if it does break below the support, then we have another level of support further down here, which is 1.2780. So for now, bias is bearish, but watch out for immediate support coming up. And if it breaks through that, then I would look for a further move to the downside. And same thing that we're looking for, drop, pull back, and we have to see a hold below 1.2960 for it to continue further. So bearish bias for pound dollar here. Let's take a look at our dollar CAD next. So dollar CAD here has also traded in this range here. We have the bottom of the range at around 1.3250 level here, and the top of the range approximately around 1.3450 here. So this is the range that it's been trading in right now. And in this case, we are looking bullish towards prices going towards the high of the range. It's right into the middle. We have a bullish pin bar. So I would look for a move higher in this case. So the type of move that I'm looking for here is back towards the high. This is our high of the range at 1.3450. So bias is bullish, looking for price to go higher into 1.3450 level for dollar CAD. Next, let's take a look at other commodity currencies here. And we will go to Aussie dollar. Okay, so here for our dollar CAD, we have, Aussie dollar here for the weekly. It's been going sideways here as well for the last little bit. We saw price drop, and it has gone back up from there. So this week, looks like I'm having all kinds of problems. Let's take a look again. I've been traveling, and this always happens when you travel. Things don't like to cooperate. Okay, so in terms of our support resistance here, actually, just to let you know, if you are watching this, or if you're on the call with me, or if you watch this later as well, there is a spreadsheet that I will be sending out with this. So make sure you take a look at the spreadsheet, and I will point out all these support resistance levels here. So in this case here, Aussie dollar, we see that price dropped, but now it's back, it has pulled back. So we have a pin in the bottom. So when we have pin in the bottom, even though this is still, there's bearishness in it, there's always a chance that it could go higher. But for now, what I'm looking for is price to do one of these. So I'm looking for price to come and test this support level here and then bounce off of that. So slight bearish bias here. But when, since we have OPEC meetings coming up, it will have an impact on, other commodity currencies as well. So just keep that in mind as well. So sorry, Romel, you're saying add this over here. So let's go to New Zealand US dollar. Romel, I don't think I understood what you were saying. Okay, are you able to see my, are you guys having problems with the sound? Anybody having problems with the sound, or you can hear me? Okay, New Zealand dollar here, this is looking bearish. Okay, so it looks like the sound is good. New Zealand US dollar, this is looking bearish. We are into support. As we can see, we are into the support where price has not broken for some time now. So even though New Zealand dollar is bearish, be mindful of this because we had a big bearish candle here, which reversed. Here we had a bearish candle and it reversed right away. So this means that there is a chance that this could reverse as well. So just be very careful with that one. So New Zealand dollar, I would say the bias is bearish, but because we are into this strong support and resistance level here, we could see price struggle. So this is our support level, which we are right into. So should we break this, then there is lots of room to the downside. So we need to see a break, a pullback, hold below this level for it to continue lower. So target here is 0.6600. But again, we need to see a break below 0.6720 level for it to continue further. Okay, so that's our New Zealand dollar. So let's take a look at our yen crosses now that we have covered all of our US dollar crosses. So we'll, excuse me, we'll start a look with, or we'll start our, start off with dollar yen here. So in terms of a dollar yen, we did see moves in yen here last week as well. US dollar, dollar yen was bullish. We have a nice bullish candle close here for the week. So in this case, looking for price to go higher. So bias is bullish, but keep in mind that we have the support resistance right there. We are again very close to our resistance level. So if the resistance level is not, does not get breached, if it does not go through this resistance, it could turn around here, just like it did here. We had a nice bullish candle close, but then it came back. So this one has also been a little range bound here. So now we are into the support resistance. So bias is slightly bullish, only till 112. So if it does not go through 112, it can come back as it did right over here. So be careful with this one. So it seems like with multiple pairs here, we are at support resistance levels. So these could be turning points for us. So we just have to be careful before we take our trades this week. Now, if it does break through this resistance, then we have room to the upside here. And in that case, it could go all the way to all the way higher into 114 because that's our next support and resistance level here. But first is 112. If it stays below 112, then I would look for price to come back into the range towards 111 and then finally 110. And if it goes through 111, then we're looking at 114 as the target. So a couple of different targets for our dollar pound euro yen first before we go into pound yen. Okay, so for our euro yen, this is looking bullish here. We have more room to the upside here. It turned around in the bottom, so we could see price go higher. So this is our support resistance right there. And again, with this one as well, we have been in this range for a while, as we can see. So between those two levels. So price has rejected the base here, now looking for it to go higher. Next target is 126.50 and then 127.50. So looking for price to go higher here. So our bias for Euro Yen will be to the upside, so bullish bias. Question, why is the support and resistance not on the first red candle on the left? This one here? Is that what you're talking about, Rick, right here? This one would be the next support and resistance level. So this is the immediate one. And then after that, it will be that one. Oh, this one here, there is, yeah, there's support and resistance level there as well. But in terms of our range, it has been, the range is higher up here. So I'm looking at the range, which is all the way to from here to here. So that's what I'm looking at, the range. That's why I put the support resistance level here. But yes, there is support resistance here and then further up and then all the way up here as well. So there's multiple levels of support resistance. Okay, all right, so this is our, what are we looking at? Euro Yen. So let's take a look at Pound Yen next. So Pound Yen is, so Pound Yen here, we have, okay, so this one is a bit into the range here as well. And in this case, our support resistance is right there. That's our top and this is the bottom. So about 144 is our bottom and we have a large pin on the upside here. So in this case, we could see price drop, but we have this support level right here at 144. So if it doesn't go through that, chances are it could do that as well. So watch out for that. So bias is bearish right now. First target is 144. Only if it breaks through this level, then I would look for a retest and I would look for the next level, which is 141. But if it doesn't break through, it can turn around. So for this one, bias is bearish for Pound Yen. All right, so let's take a look at Aussie Yen here. All right, so Aussie Yen has also been trading in a range. So a lot of these yen crosses have been a little range bound here. So this is the high of the range, approximately at the 80 level. And now, and here we have the low of the range. So this one here, we do have bullishness in the candle, but we are right into our resistance level. So I will look for price to go higher, but if it does not break the high, we could see it come back into the range. So for a lot of these charts here, we are right into our support resistance levels, which means we could see a reversal. So watch out for that. So for this one, bias is bullish, but if it doesn't break the high, watch out for a reversal. Now, if it does break the high there, we have next level, right there. So 81.50 will be the next level. So if it breaks through, we can fill this inefficiency or this candle here, it will get filled. And in that case, 81.50 will become our target. So we just need to be careful here. But as we can see, even with this candle, and we had multiple times price tested the high but failed. So chances are that we could see this drop. But because we have FOMC, which means if dollar starts to sell, then all these other currencies can become more expensive against the US dollar, and we could see them push higher. So very important to keep in mind. And also with the OPEC meetings, if oil starts to go up, other commodity currencies can go with it as well, even though Australian dollar is not directly related to oil, but we find that a lot of times the commodity currencies will move together. And because of that, we could see that corresponding move in Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar as well. So for New Zealand dollar here, New Zealand dollar was weak last week. We saw negative data come out for New Zealand dollar, which pushed the price lower. And hence we have a bearish candle close here as well. So bias is bearish for this, but as we can see, we are coming right into support. And like I said before, if price does not break the support, then we could see price go back up again. And if it does break the support, then for now, so the bias is bearish. First target is into 74.80 here. Now, if it breaks through, then I will be looking for 7,400. And then finally, third one will be 73. So overall, biases to the downside, but first target is very close here, 74.80, sorry. If it does not break, then chances are price can go back in. All right, so that's New Zealand yen. Let's take a look at our Swiss crosses. We will start off with our dollar Swiss. So in terms of a dollar Swiss here, this is looking bullish. We have seen price go up and there's a room to the upside here. First target level is 1.00. If it gets through that, then we are looking at 1.010. So for now, bias is bullish for dollar Swiss franc. Euro Swiss franc will be next here. So for this one here, we see that price had dropped last week and now we have seen a push to the upside. And now we are into this important support and resistance level here. So this is where we are. As we can see, price had retested this level here, then dropped, and now we are back here. So bias is bullish, but this is not, this is not a bullish engulfing candle. So this is not a bullish engulfing candle, so we don't have a reversal just yet. But what I would be looking for would be a slight push to the upside. So either a retest of this week's high at 1.1240 or test of this level here, 1.1260. Now, price could turn around at either of these levels. However, if price, let's say, breaks through this week's high, goes to retest next week's high, and then breaks through, I would look for price to go back. Because this big candle here is likely to get filled. Another scenario we could see show up for us would be, in fact, my charts do not want to cooperate with me. So another scenario we could have is that price goes up, goes into last week's high, pulls back into this week's high, and then goes back up. Should this happen, then we are also looking for another move to the upside, and it will be the same scenario here, that price is likely to go fill this gap. So just be mindful of that. So right now, bias is bullish, and we could see some of these scenarios. But let's say price goes into this high and does not break through, then we are looking for a drop. If it goes into last week's high and does not break through, we're looking for a drop as well. So a lot of these pairs, like I said, they are into important support resistance levels, and we need a couple of different scenarios planned out in order to trade them. Let's take a look at pound Swiss franc here. Okay, so the pound Swiss franc, this is similar to the other chart we have seen. So bias is bearish here. As we can see, price has been dropping. We are into support for these, from these last previous weeks here. We are into important support level here, and that's what we need to be careful about. Can price break this support? Now, if it breaks this support, so right now I'm looking for price to drop. Bias is bearish for pound Swiss franc, but if it does not break the support, it can go back up. So that's the first scenario. Now, bias is still bearish. If it breaks the support here and holds below the support, then I will look for continuation, and then we have more room to the downside here. So bearish bias, first target is right into here. So let's say 28.50, and then looking for it to go further. Oh, sorry, not 28.50, 1.2950. If it breaks through, then we're looking for price to go even lower into approximately 1.2650. So bearish bias for pound Swiss franc. All right, so let's move on to our commodities now, and we'll take a look at oil. What is the oil? Can someone tell me what is TradingView oil symbol? Let's take a look at gold. Is it WTI? Yeah, WTI, okay. All right, so gold here. Gold has been interesting. We saw a drop, and with this one here, we are into support. So if we take a look at our chart, this is where price has come into support several times here, and now we are back into those levels. So it looks like price is rejecting this level, even though there's bearishness in it. Looks like price wants to reject this level, so we could go higher. Especially with the FOMC week, what we find is that a lot of times price, US dollar tends to not do so well with FOMC, and in that case, gold tends to go up. So watch out for that this week. So it's looking bullish right now because it's rejected this level. So my bias will be bullish, but watch out for a retest of this level before it starts to go back up. And if it rejects it, then I'm looking for price to go back again towards 1320. So for now, bias is bullish here for gold, but should it break through the support, then we have lots of room to the downside, and it can go all the way into 1250 level. But this is a important level here at 1280 because it's stuck here for quite some time here since December, and it's likely that it will go back up from here. So bullish bias here for gold. So since we're looking at gold, let's take a look at silver at the same time. And then we'll go on to our oil. Okay, so same or similar scenario here for silver as well. We saw that price dropped and it's struggling here. So this is where we are all the way from here. So price went into our support resistance level, pushed up from there. So I would look for price to go back up here as well. So bias is bullish and target will be 15.60. However, should it break down, then it could continue on all the way into this level because it will open up this candle here, this whole thing for the move to the downside. So 1420 will become the target. But first, my base case scenario is that price goes into the support and then goes back up again. So bias is bullish, but because we are so close there, we could see price turn around there as well. So bullish bias for silver. So let's take a look at our oil here. With oil, OPEC meetings will be very, very important because so we have seen President Trump trying to tweet and ask OPEC to open up production. They have refused to do that. So if they continue with the same stance, and generally when they have OPEC meetings, we tend to hear lots of comments in regards to the oil because they are discussing those things. So a lot of reporters are there and they tend to issue or make these comments. So if no production loosening happens, in that case, this will stay bullish. So right now it is bullish. As we can see, price went and tested the support resistance level, pushed higher. We are into resistance, but it is bullish bias. It's pressuring to the upside. And as such, we could see it go higher and looking for it to go higher into all the way 7.968 almost here. So bullish bias for oil here as well. All right, so last thing we'll take a look at will be our equities market. So let's take a look at S&P 500. This is looking bullish here. So I will look for price to continue further. And this one here, as we can see, it has had this bullish bias for quite some time. So one of the things that has been pushing the equity markets up and also our yen crosses up have been comments that are coming out in regards to the US-China trade negotiations. So last week we heard comments that the negotiations were progressing well. China was allowing some concessions that they had previously, they were not open to. And as a result of that, we saw more bullishness come into the market. So this week here, our candle here is quite bullish. So bias is bullish, looking for it to go higher, 29.42, which is basically the top here, the resistance here. That will be our target this week. So this one looks bullish, which means our yen crosses are likely to go up as well. So just keep that in mind, the correlation there. But in terms of the equity markets here, looking bullish and 29. So 29.40 is the target for S&P. Let's take a look at NASDAQ here. NASDAQ also looking bullish. So we are moving close to our resistance level here. 7,700 will be the target. Big bullish candle close here. So bias is bullish. In terms of our FTSE here, very strong close for the week for FTSE as well. So this is bullish. 75.50 is the target, first target, and 76.50 will be the second target. So 75.50 and 76.50. So bullish bias here for FTSE as well. Let's take a look at DAX here. DAX is also looking very strong, bullish bias here. So we are very close into this important support resistance all the way from here. This candle is pretty much filled here at 12120. So this is bullish. 12120 will be the first target. If it goes through that, it could go all the way into 12444. So bullish bias for DAX as well. So all the equity markets are looking bullish, and a lot of it has to do with the comments that came out in regards to the US-China talks progressing well there. All right, so that's all I have here. Any questions before we can wrap it up? Okay, so no questions. Perfect, we'll wrap it up. Like I said, I will create a spreadsheet that I will send it out. So just click on the link. There'll be a link wherever you watch this again in order so you can download the spreadsheet. It's a quick at the glance spreadsheet that you can have. All right, so you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week again. Bye.